All right, so we had this conversation yesterday. I think I dropped it during the pre-game show, and then we were having the conversation also in the actual game, getting into as far as Ken Dorsey, this offense, the play calling, and everything that's been going on. Well, this morning the Bills decided to go ahead and fire Ken Dorsey, and good riddance, right? You hate to see someone obviously lose a job. I'll start there. But at the same time, someone has been given so many opportunities, right? Somebody has been given so many chances to make things right. And unfortunately, they don't do it, right? You have inconsistent play calling. You have inconsistent, I want to say, as far as, who we're going to use for the run. No real system. And that's been the biggest problem that we've had with the Bills. No real system. Josh Allen just going out there trying to figure things out and having no clear direction. So guess what? We're going to take this out on Ken Dorsey right now, right? When also we do need to bring up the fact of Josh Allen not being able to go out there and actually play at his full potential and throwing the picks that he has. We know this happens, right? But we need someone in there that's actually going to be able to not only teach Josh Allen, but actually work with him so that he can go ahead and basically play at his full potential. Now, Joe Brady, has been promoted to offensive coordinator. He was a quarterback coach. So, yeah, is this a good thing? I guess. We'll have to see how this goes as the weeks go by. I don't even know if he's the guy for it. That's where we're at right now. I'm not sure if he's the guy for it because he's the quarterback coach, and Allen has been having all these kind of issues and still throwing picks and making all kinds of mistakes. And we can talk about the touchdowns, right? We can talk about the accuracy and get into all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, I will keep preaching this till the end of time. You have to go out there and you have to win and excel no matter what. Forget the touchdowns. Forget the we got to add here. Okay, here we go. shout out to you, Plague. Shout out to you, man. Opportunity that Josh Allen has and the potential there as far as his talent. We understand what he can do. But someone needs to come in and basically make sure that not only the play calling is good, but Allen's not making those mistakes and throwing the wild passes. We get he's a gunslinger, right? We understand it. But at the end of the day, if you remember how Brian Dable actually had Josh Allen going before he turned into the person that he is now, I feel like Dable was great because he actually tamed the beast. He tamed the lion. And to a degree, yes, Allen was still having those, issues with interceptions, but he was moving that ball. He had confidence. He was more comfortable. Now when I see Allen throw the ball, it's like you're holding your breath. You're holding your breath every time he throws the ball now. And it's like, is it going to be a pick? Is it going to be a good throw? And then also, right, I can't put all the blame on Allen last night because you have Gabe Davis with that pass that went right through his hands when he was like this and went straight through. You're supposed to catch that ball. Diggs as well had a couple passes he should have caught. So, yes, there are issues as far as with Allen, and we can break that down and go there. But the biggest thing has been the play calling, and we just don't have a system, and that's why Ken Dorsey needed to go. I've been saying this for weeks now. I wanted it to happen last night. I didn't want it to be a breaking news this morning, but hey, they gave it to us this morning. He's gone, and hopefully Joe Brady can come in and make some changes, and we'll see. We'll see. But Ken needed to go. And listen, some people may get mad at me for this. Some people may, hate what I'm saying right now. But I feel like as the season goes on, you're going to run into the fact of Sean McDermott being next on the chopping block. It's just the reality of it. It was like, he's a nice guy. He's a great guy. And I think that's the problem. I think Sean McDermott being nice is the issue, right? I don't think he's the coach that's going to lead this team to actually going out and getting to a championship. Now, granted, we can go back to that statement of, you see him out there clapping his hands all strong and, putting up the fist, but I just don't feel like he's actually in that locker room getting in these guys' faces. I don't feel like he's actually a respectable and I want to say feared coach because guess what? People play better when they have a coach that they actually fear, that they actually respect. And I'm not saying fear in the sense of like this man's gonna beat up you or hurt somebody, right? But there's a certain level that coaches have where they can instill that fear in a player's heart to actually go out there and be better. True players know what I mean. Anyone who's been in sports, basketball, football, whatever kind of sport, you know there's a certain level of respect and fear that people have for their coach that drives them and motivates them to be better. And I just don't see that in Sean McDermott. I don't see it. But let me address some of these comments. I'm on the phone today, so bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Says we need to have Josh Allen running again. Worked in the past. I agree. Yukaya's guitar solo says, who is responsible for 12 men on the field? He needs firing as well. yeah. Your special teams coach. He probably should be going this to the. It should have been a joint firing. Ken Dorsey and the special teams coach. They definitely should have been fired together. Guy says Jay going off on a school week. You know it's serious. John P says you called it last night, Jay. Listen, I said it during the pregame show. I broke it down. I literally said, hey, in this game, we need to see a dominant victory. We didn't need to see a 1-point win. We didn't need to see a field goal win. We needed to see at least 7 points. 14, okay, that's what we're supposed to do. But 21 was the answer. 21-point win would have kept Ken Dorsey's job. I think even if we just would have barely won by 3, it would have been up in the air, but they probably would have kept him because we got the win. But we needed an answer. And guess what? When you have someone like Ken Dorsey, who's already been talked about as far as being on the chopping block, which I mentioned weeks ago. This wasn't just last night. I mentioned it weeks ago. But when you have that kind of situation, he's got to go. He's got to go. There is a hierarchy, right? You have the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinator, right? They're normally the first to go. And then it's the coach, right? The coach goes and they bring somebody else in. And then they start swapping out players and things like that. If things don't change, you're going to see a lot of people on the Bills gone by next year. First choice for me is probably going to be Stephon Diggs. And I know some people are going to get mad at me for saying that. But the reality is this. I feel like a lot of the chemistry issues and the imbalance of the team started this season with Stephon Diggs. And you can fight me on it. You can get mad about it. You guys know I'm a realist. I don't care. At the end of the day, the chemistry issues and the imbalance with the offense started with Stephon Diggs. Yes, he's a great player. Yes, he's talented. But if you go back to his Minnesota Vikings days, you can realize that the same thing happened there, and that's why he left. That's why he came to the Bills. And now we're dealing with the same issue. Granted, we can also bring up the defensive problems, right? We know that Matt Milano's out, Tre'Davious White's out, Micah Hyde's out. Basically, I think 5 of 11 of our starters played last night, in which they did just enough. Just enough. But what have I been saying? And I'm going to keep beating this up. I'm going to keep beating up. 35 points. You have to average close to 35 points in this league right now to win if you're the Bills. I said it. The defense sucks. I didn't want to talk about the defense no more because we already know what time it is. We know the issues that the defense has. At the end of the day, the offense has to get it together. I made a video last night in regards. I'm not sure what's going to happen. This is probably in the last 3 years. Yeah, I'm actually not sure what's going to happen. We got the Jets coming up. We got the Eagles. We got the Chiefs. Dolphins again. It's not looking good. And the big problem with right now is, whether or not Joe Brady is going to be able to come in and actually make a system in the middle of the season. So sure, the fire of Ken Dorsey, or the firing of Ken Dorsey is good. It basically appeases the fans, but I don't think that's good enough. I don't think it's good enough. Let me answer some of these questions. Astrology says McDermott was running the defense during the 13 seconds. Well, like I said, he could be next in the chopping block for sure. Seminoles for the win says, Jay, how in the world did we lose to Russell Wilson? So, yeah, I mean, we can't really discredit Russell Wilson. We can't. He's been playing great football. I think he had 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So, yeah, I mean, he's been balling out. People have been kind of sleeping on Russell Wilson. That's not the issue, right? I expected this, and if you guys watched the pregame show yesterday, I expected the Denver Broncos to have a decent game. I said that would happen, and I said it was a lot closer than what most people thought it was going to be. Here we are. Broncos win 24-22. And that, it just felt off because they actually should have had more points. They missed the extra point, and I think for their first touchdown, right? That's why it was 9. And then they missed, I think, a field goal. They missed a field goal or another extra point. So in all reality, they probably should have had 25 or 26 points to the Bills' 22. Now, regardless, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't make sense. But they still left extra points on the table that they should have scored. Let me keep going, though. Astrology says, fire the owner. Get a new one in the draft because the draft is the only way it works. So get rid of Pagula, huh? Plague says Gabe Davis needs to go ASAP. So I'm kind of impartial to this because I do like Gabe Davis. I do think that he should have been WR1. I get Stephon Diggs has the talent and he makes the catches. But at the same time, Gabe Davis on that D ball is way better to me than Stephon Diggs on a slant route. It just really is. That's not discrediting, Stephon Diggs' skill level, but I'm just saying you have these moments where Gabe Davis can definitely change the game if he's being thrown the ball and he can catch it. The thing about Stephon Diggs is he looks good because he keeps getting the ball. If you feed anybody, they're going to catch the ball enough and get yards. So, me personally, I think Gabe Davis is better just on a whole, for the team level. But Stephon Diggs is better, obviously, just because of the talent. But he's more of an independent player, so you got to, take what you can there. Don sees a good point. We get draft capital. Susan says these people can't count. Bills have been cursed since taking the Seneca money. It's the modern curse of the Bambino. Shout out to you, Astrology. Yukai says the opening fumble set the tone for the game, and I said it. When I seen that fumble happen, it was kind of like all the air was just taken out of the stadium right then and there, because we like Cook, we like Murray, Harris, so, but we understand Cook's skill level, and he's got that speed, and he can break through that wall and get you some yards. He's good, but once again, when you hand that ball to him, you're holding your breath. Please don't drop the ball. Protect the ball. And we seen it multiple times last night. And I was just so amazed on that one fumble when he's running full speed. And then it literally just pops right back up after he fumbled it right into his hands. You never see that kind of fumble. So for that to happen, that was an absolute miracle. And they just got lucky on that one. But yeah, he needs to protect the ball better. And he needs to focus on that, right? Nobody's discrediting James Cook as far as his speed, as far as his ability to, cut into the gaps and things like that. But I definitely think they need to focus on running drills where he's, he has the ball. Defense on their side needs to be punching the ball out as much as they can just to basically help him get to that point where he's going to protect that ball better, because we can't have the fumbles. You can't have the fumbles. Base player says the offense looked uncomfortable, out of sorts. It looked like they were unsure with the plays called. Also, when the offense started to execute, whether run or pass, once it started cooking, they changed. Yeah, there was a point in the game where Allen got a little bit, comfortable, even after the picks, right? He got a little bit more comfortable and started making better decisions. But that was more so because of the run, right? They went with the run. They started utilizing that more. So it kind of relieved, Allen of the pressure of having to go out there and throw. But listen, if the run wasn't working, because the Broncos have a terrible defense when it comes to the run, but if the run wasn't working, it probably would have been way worse, because Allen couldn't get anything off deep because it was probably going to be picked off. Shout out to Richard. Says, breaking news. Jay called this. I called it, man. I called it. Richard says, Jay to GM. Listen, just put me on the sideline somewhere. We'll figure it out. Dan the Grisper says, you called it. A head has to roll after that. I said it. King of the Wise says, I said in the stream last night, I have a dream. Denver. Hey, there it is. Don C says, I think Josh might have a chronic injury. It is worrying. So obviously we know that he had that elbow injury last year that he played through. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a specific injury that's hindering Allen from going out there and balling. I really think it's just the fact of not having the proper system and understanding that, hey, you can't throw in double coverage. right? You can't throw you can't make underthrown balls. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. When it comes down to the system of the offense, we know that the defense is trash right now. We know that we're injury plagued. The offense has to go out there and execute at a level so that we can have a remote chance of winning, especially in these upcoming weeks. So I hope, right, and I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to hope that Joe Brady can come in as the quarterback coach and really create a system that's not only going to work around Allen, but is going to work that run game, get Gabe Davis more involved, get Stephon Diggs the passes that he needs to excel and basically be involved as well, and just create a winning opportunity for the Bills on offense. That's all. That's all. Says also the coach should have made sure all defenders knew not to commit pass interference. Exactly. That was a big one too. The pass interference. Listen, if the pass interference never happened, it was game over. You guys know that. If the pass interference never happened, it was game over. And you guys know how this works. It's every week when it's, a minute left on the clock and the other team has to drive down the field and it's basically 4-down situation. A quarterback knows. A veteran quarterback knows I can drop back, I can throw it 40 yards, and someone down there is going to make a play at the ball, and they're probably going to get hit with the defensive or get hit with the pass interference. Because the defense, for some reason, every time cannot play the ball, and they decide to play the receiver. So 9 times out of 10, it's going to work for a veteran quarterback, and they know that. And that's really unfortunate because you would think the Bills' defense would have figured it out by now. Play says, what happened to the 21 Bills? Don't make bad plays that are not first downs. Bob says arms with an angel. Yeah, we can go ahead and sing it. King of the Wise says you didn't turn around. Exactly, you got to turn around. You got to turn around. Russell Wilson is a brain. I mean, listen, Russell Wilson is obviously far past his prime, but he's still got the veteran legs and the IQ, and that's what gets you the win. That's what got him the win. He's still got the veteran legs. He's still got the veteran IQ. Sean Payton is a beast, and I think we're kind of overlooking that as well. Sean Payton came into the game with a plan, a real plan, on defense and offense, and he executed. He out-coached Sean McDermott. So now we're running into the question of, all right, well, if Sean Payton can out-coach Sean McDermott, what happens to all these other weeks? What happens with all these other teams? It starts to look, the picture is starting to become clear as far as what's going on and what needs to happen. Discipline. Bill Parcells in his younger years would have done slap the coaches and players. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So your news for the day, breaking news. Ken Dorsey is out. Joe Brady is in, the Bills quarterback coach. And we'll have to see what he does. Obviously, if you end up listening to this later, make sure you drop it down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up, and, of course, subscribe. I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Peace out. Peace out.